Good morning, everybody. It is Thursday, October 17th, 2024. Let's go ahead and jump in and take a look at what's happened here the last day and a half. So on yesterday morning, when we came into the market, we were dealing with two conflicting signals. We had clues for a bounce, but we also had clues for a pullback. And so I told you, first of all, that anywhere between basically this roadmap level, basically the overnight high, down to the previous daily low was most likely going to be a chop fest because of what we saw the night before and then earlier in the market, right, from 2 days ago. So I warned you that trading inside of here was most likely going to be a little bit messy. Sure enough, it was kind of sideways here, but let's take a look and see what ended up happening. The bulls did end up regaining their strength here yesterday, and not too surprisingly, the low of the day where the bulls jumped back in was nearly to the tick right off our roadmap level. So out of the open here, we can go ahead and zoom in and take a look. They came right up to the back end of the 200, started that pullback, came right to our first expected support, which was our first roadmap level, made a nice little double bottom there, and then we got the push to new highs for the day. So as you can see, we got a push out. Of course, they held right around the next roadmap level for the pullback, not surprising there. And then on that pullback, went back into a little bit of sideways chop, but the overarching idea here is they held on the pullback here, right? Right around the previous daily close, and the hopeful wasn't to the tick. They bounced off of it to the tick and then kind of rummaged around a little bit, and then we started to get the push out. Now, we did get one of those characteristic tags right off of the hopeful there that then began the breakout to the upside there. So we did get a little bit of a stair step up, but again, everything inside of here, I warned you, was most likely going to be choppy, so be careful. So I didn't trade inside of here, but you did have that opportunity to go ahead and try the pullback there. That then brought us up to new highs for the day. So that came up. What do you know? They had another problem right at the roadmap level to the tick that time. Came back, kissed the VWAP, missed it by a tick or two, and then we got the push higher. So once we broke out through the top end of, again, this block that I told you to be very careful to be trading inside of, once they got up through there, we just got a pretty decent push, and then it petered out at the end of the day. So once we broke out through that top end of that range there, they pulled back and quite literally one tick in front bounced. Fortunately missed it by a tick, bringing us up to a new high for the day, getting back up through 50% of the previous day, which was really our line in the sand there for the bullish bearish bias. And then from there, unfortunately, it then just petered out for the last hour of the day there, last hour and a half. So not much to note here at the end of the day, just that it was a nice small little bearish pullback. And then that brings us here into the overnight session, where once again they have pulled back right to our roadmap level that has been on the chart now for a couple weeks at 58.70 to 275. So in the overnight session, as you can see, they held the back end of VWAP there, basically the back end of the close of the day before when the Globex session opened. Came right to the tick, to our roadmap level, which is now 50% of yesterday, but it was our roadmap level that's been on there for a very long time at 58.73. So they came right to it, bounced to the tick, held the back end of the fast moving average and the VWAP, came back, we got one of those typical peak belows, and then we got the bounce out. And on that bounce, beautiful bullish divergence right off this level. That led to this push all the way back up in the overnight session now, all the way back up to the all-time high. So let's look at this short rally we got last night. Pretty aggressive. As you can see, most of the pullbacks barely even made it back to the fast moving average, right? So a really nice strong push. Our next expected resistance level was right here at 59.02. Unfortunately, no pullback from there, right? They just kind of ripped right through it. And as you can see, it was a very, very strong push, right? So they just kind of ripped through. That's no longer on our charts. And now here we are. What do you know? pull back right off of just above the all-time high. Remember, the all-time high was at 18.5. So in the last couple minutes, we pushed through it, came right to the roadmap level, which we failed from. If we go back to the day before, we failed just in front of it, and that was our all-time high, right? And I mentioned how damn close we got to that level. Well, guess what? We got the big pullback over the last day or two, came all the way back, and then we came up and gave it a nice clean kiss right off the level. Got the pullback, and now here we are, just in the last minute or two, couple minutes, breaking out to new all-time highs. Right, so that concludes our review for the last day and a half here. Again, coming down, the low of the day yesterday was our roadmap level within 1 or 2 ticks. Came up, rotated right off the 50% area, came back. Let's pull that back. Rotated right off of the extension level, which became 50% this morning. Held right around Hopeful and the close, petered back and forth in here, held the VWAP, came all the way up, and then petered out at the end of the day. And now in the overnight session, we pulled back to hold our level nearly to the tick on the first test, and then just a shy peek through to lead to the next bullish push all the way up to new all-time highs. So let's go ahead and jump up to the higher time frames and see what they are hinting at for this morning.